know it ain't just for me. Trying to make it out this hood, man, it's a gift to me. Still looking out for the ones who ain't do it for me. Fell in love with this life.
Go back and find out the richness of the culture of this city and where you come from. Because it's not some second-rate place. It is a historically very, very, very spectacular place. It used to be called the playground of the world, and it was true. I mean, even underworld, like the mob used to have syndicate meetings in Atlantic City. Like right on that beach, Chicken Bone. Does anybody know why that beach was called Chicken Bone?
Why?
Well, it was started out to be a very pejorative statement, meaning it wasn't nice. Because on Kentucky Avenue, there was prime real estate. But there was a beach that was segregated only for black people. And because black people were smart, didn't want to spend their money for food at places on the wall, they bought chicken and biscuits in brown bags. And when they left the beach, it was full of chicken bones. And after a while, the name stuck, Chicken Bone Beach. And that was something that we gave to ourselves. So again, this historically, there's reasons why a person should be compelled to know about this place. But there's a really, I did this piece at Syracuse University, Oswego State in New York, UNCC in Charlotte, and a portion of it at Morehouse in Atlanta. So, like, it's not conversation. I mean, you can really, if you need to, find out the verification. It's on the internet. But again, I'm saying to you, I'm from this city. I wrote about this city, and it paid me handsomely in cities all over the United States, West Coast, East Coast. So I'm just going to share with you just like a small part. And this is called Tribute to Black Cowboys. And these particular black cowboys are from Atlantic City.
Wow.
Mama, don't let those babies grow up to be cowboys. Mama, please teach them to be gentle. Instruct them in the ways of the spiritual and the mental. Don't let them be like me and my mom. We patiently waited until the guns that we carried were no longer Christmas toys. When this baby boy was emerged from the womb, I soon learned all of the dark days and the dark ways of men. But now that I'm a man, I refuse to die inside one of them DOC tombs. Although I have committed atrocities with impunity and I ran around on the earth as if I had heavenly immunity because I suffered just a little bit as a little boy, I thought that I would be forgiven all of my future sins. I had a handful from the time that I was born. A fist full of bloody dollars that had been strategically picked from between the roses and the thorns. And it's turned me into the blooming black flower. I'm the product of gunslinger seed. I inherited all my mama's seductive gypsy powers there in that hospital on Ohio Avenue as they cut the umbilical cord. Even then I learned to watch and revere her. I saw her and remembered as she laid there and relieved. But I broke mama's heart as I became older. I chose to become a rider and an outlaw. Taught me 2 guns. The shooting guard for the Magnificent Seven. In pursuit of the good and the bad and the ugly, and for a few dollars more, we would even rob the priests for their gold. But wait, don't you judge, don't you hate. Without the jewelry, it made it easier for them to float, you know, to levitate. And when we removed all these earthly treasures, it increased their chances for their sinful asses. Maybe they just might get into heaven. But cursed with this machine gun tongue, I had to find out where it was and what should it do and what have I done. Even though the choices now have become softer, the shoes and the women and the luggage and the places where we vacation, but still it's hard, y'all, to check the ego because sometimes we all can trip. But the truth is, every time I open my mouth, what seems to fall out are objects of blood red rose petals and objects of cold blue steel and metal. I become the black rose spitting between tulips. Get it? 2 lips. And these words are never ending. They seem to come from some cosmic clip. All the time as the people get in front of me, they want to oppose. Well, watch them start stretching, screaming and bending. These words are hollow tips. And all of those cases, posses, hangmen, even child support, it's all still pending. It's still pending. It's still pink. And I was a good boy, so I wrestled with the rest of my litter when I was an itty bitty lion cub. But one night, my chance came. We were in a really heated crap game, and I shot and gambled my way into a posse of young guns right there on the boardwalk inside a Casino City pub. They were a collection of villains. They had a chorus of smiles that was cold and chilling. They said, "Come here, kid, we hear you're really smart, but we're going to give you a lesson how to use the eraser. We're going to teach you how to rub." And amongst these pistoleros, these banditos that some men call diablos, they were mi hermanos. There was Sammy, Sun Tzu, and Black Frankie, Little Pee-wee, Floyd Shotgun. And there was a really short dude, his name was No Mercy. His motto was, "Listen, we don't feel any guilt and we never entertain any regrets." And man, I'm not telling you a lie when I tell you what I've seen with my own eyes. I watched these dudes leave hoodies and button-ups and white tees, red, holy, and wet. And then there was the murderer most high. He was our leader. He was my cousin. His name was Mikhail. He said patience were for men only so weak that they had no choice but to wait. And only when outgunned should you ever negotiate. But because I spoke 1 or 2 languages, I kind of had a good relationship with women, he said, "Your job is to find women with properly dead baby daddies for sale." And as good as we became, as hard as we rode, we broke every single law. The lawmen still caught us. We were bamboozled and hoodwinked on the mattresses, caught with our pants down. Some of us landed strung up in danger of the hangman's noose. And the rest, we sat and we watched. We drew long, long toasts, but we all saw as their signals written in smoke and their cries were written in the skies. They said, "Today, if today is the day that gunslingers must die, we don't entertain freedom no longer. It's a delusion, but at least storm these gates, bring us arms and horses, make it a fair fight. At least we must be loose." And so as we arrive now, masqueraded by dust clouds, riding bareback on sleek Arabian horses that are black and strong and fierce just like us, we know that Allah is there, but it's in each other, in these machines, in our strategy, we choose to place our trust. As we view the errors of our ways, viewed in the rearview mirrors of our days, we all listen very attentively, but we're macho, so we cry privately, and we listen to Sun Tzu. He fervently and mournfully prays, and this is what he says: "At night I go to bed, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I ain't looking for forgiveness, but before I'm 6 feet deep. Lord, I gotta ask a favor, and I hope you understand. I've lived life to the fullest. Let this boy die like a man, staring down a bullet. Let me make my final stand." So mama, I've told you my story. Parts of it are bloody and gory, but mama, I know it's difficult for you to concentrate with the teachers and the DIFF and child support, all of this white noise. But mama, I promise I will be there when you need me. I know the way I live makes it really hard for you to believe me. But I'm begging you, please, mama, if you don't take a good hard look at me and see that without you and me handcuffed, bound by unity, there's going to never be a way that we can stop the inevitably cut short life. These babies are going to die, just like those who came before them too young. Mama, we have to stop these babies and don't let them grow up to be cowboys.
Much like how you see today, you see people reach out to the Hispanics. They was like, "Come here, we know you're going to work hard, you're going to appreciate this money, come here." A lot of us came, and what the people in politics began to realize, like, hold up, they got like 40% of the population. They represent a vote. So now let's find a way to get their vote. So they went out with big bottles of liquor and finaglings and they quarry the black vote, and as a means to appease or to give something, because in order to get something, you have to give something. The city founders, during a time period when there was no acknowledgement of the Negro League baseball team, gave Pop Lloyd's Stadium, the field. That was a purchase agreement with the city council. All right? That time period has something to do with city. So imagine that. So if you can see something that would have been considered $1 million feat back then, think about the things that we can do now. If we just collected our votes, we can demand, we can command better jobs. We can command a better distribution of wealth. And as we know, one of the main causes of violence, particularly in the African American community, has to do directly with lack of resources. If we had a means of distributing the wealth a little better, we can see some safe communities. If you take some of you brothers that just coming home and give them a job, then perhaps you will have a better chance of not going back to prison. We look at the recidivism rate. The recidivism rate is at 70-something%. Within the first year to 3 years, they expect you to go back. So why would they make things more difficult for an individual that was convicted of selling drugs? Why can't he get welfare? Because he's going to be pushed under the gun, and what he going to do? Go back to what he used to do. He's hustling. He was an entrepreneur. Why not cultivate that same entrepreneurial spirit into something legitimate? Which is the premise of REPENT. REPENT is an acronym for recidivism prevention through entrepreneurial training. And the very concept is to take that same spirit, that same vein. Like, I don't care if I got to stand on that corner and sell pencil erasers, bottles of water. I have sold bottles of water on the corner when I first came home. I promise you I did. I was going to do whatever I had to do not to go back to prison. So I ask that y'all take that message. We're going to bring up next man.
It doesn't mean that their power and their strength isn't needed in order to walk this land. Our stories are worth it to be told. Somehow this world has gotten in the way and has misconstrued the concept of man and woman. Instead, they look at our culture and our color as if we're not worth it. But for what I am told, what I am heard of, and what I have seen, we ought to be judged by the content of our character rather than the color of our skin. To God be the glory, and from him within he says, we ought to be treated as equal, because no sin is greater than the other, and no man is better than the other. Somehow the world has rewritten our inscribed, or have rewritten our inscriptures to make us look like victims, not just victims, but characters of criminality. Somehow they have thought that our color, your pigmentation, means that you're dirty in the day. Somehow they act like your education isn't worth the pennies that you have in your hand. Just because it's brown pennies in my hand don't mean that they won't understand. Don't mean that they won't upload or make it to the silver in theirs. See, the struggle is much more realer than ours. Our story dictates that we take our pennies, roll them, use them for our meals, take them and put them on the bus. But just because we don't have a character on ours that means something to them, we're worthless. So I urge you to use your pennies. Rewrite your story and use your pennies. Because those pennies will add up to those quarters, and at the end of the day, when those quarters and green dollars are gone, the pennies are still on the floor. Our stories are worth it to be heard. Mary McLeod Bethune didn't have anything. She didn't even own a home. She didn't have a job, but she rewrote history by opening up her own school. Those are the things they forget to tell our children nowadays. Those are the things this young man has yet to hear. That there are women and there are men who take care of their own by building their own from within, and give it and take care of their own by making sure that it relies in the generation. Let me show you something. Let me tell you what you own. You own a plot of land down in Mullins. Just because the taxes are here higher in New Jersey, don't mean that you're not rich down there. Some of us have come up from the South. Yes, we have. Some of us may not even know our own ancestry or history, but we will. But just because we may wear something that they don't, it doesn't have a name brand, it doesn't carry something that is monetary, doesn't mean that we are not rich from within. See, our blood is thicker inside of us. That means even when it pours on the ground, it's not worthless. That means it's just making a way for the next body to walk it. Our stories are worth it to behold. To take inside and to relax, and to know that on the other side we have something greater than their gold. We don't need what they have. We need to build from within. See, we talk about it, but we do not do it. We want it, but we won't go after it, because we are mentally beat down and told that we are not worth it. I urge you to know your story. I ask you, do you know who you are? Do you know who your father's father or your grandmother's grandmother is? How many of them have picking cotton for our cotton picking ignorance? How many of us have acted like we are not worth it because we don't know how to respect the elders? Our elders have plotted on this land for a reason. No, they did not just come home with bloody hands for any reason. They came so that we could show ourselves that we can do it too. No, we may not pick cotton, but what is the difference in being a coin slot cashier? All of the labor comes from within. See, your face is out there on the labor board. Theirs is upstairs sitting down. Your face is out there on the streets. Theirs is inside. See, what have your labor have costed you, and what counted the cost? I mean, how much of you are you giving without giving back to you? Our stories are worth it to be told. Our stories are worth it to behold and to be heard and to walk every day as if we are the kings and queens that made this land, because basically our hands are out there on the street. No, they did not pave the streets. They costed your life. See, when they made the pyramids, there were black faces out there that were painted in white. But those are the things they don't teach our children. Those are the things that they neglect during Black History Month. A month that is given for 28 days, sometimes 29, when there's 365 in the year. Some things ought to be told and taught on a daily basis. Like, how many of us know how many hands are written on the bridges that we drive over? That are colored. Negro, nigger, black, pickaninny, cotton picking niggas that don't need nothing and don't deserve nothing, but our laborers are on the board. Our laborers are on the front line. You remember the Tuskegee. They forget that 149th Infantry. They forget that we were the ones that came in and counted the cost. I mean, we put our lives on the line in the glory land just so they could get over and say that they won that fight.
Wow.
I'm wondering, how many of us really hear our stories and take those stories and teach our children so when they get older, they know their history. Not just their little boy with the black face. No, you are a king, and your hands and your ancestry hands are on this land. Take it and run with it and do the best you can with it. I mean, I know there aren't any more Jell-O pudding pots, but it seems as if something goes wrong, the black face is on the media. Excuse me for being biased, but every time we get one foot in front of the other, there is something to knock us 3 steps back. So how many of us are willing to put our backs on the line just to stand up for what we have? I mean, our stories are worth it to be told.
How do we collectively come up with some solutions? Is there anybody? This is a question that
Because if you don't go out there and tell them that we are here and we represent the community, that we deserve something, they're not gonna give you nothing. They just gonna look and say, well, these are the ignorant kids from Lane City. They killing each other, they fighting, they stupid. But there's a lot of things, and even like me and my wife was talking about even the street lights, like how they do things inside of Lane City. If you go out to Ventnor, Margate, and Longport, every light you have to hit that red, so it's a slow traffic. They make sure you do 25 to slow it in their neighborhood. But when you come out here, it's a continuous green, straight down Arctic, and they racing. So little kids that go to school, they gotta jump into traffic, they gotta hurry up, and it does a lot for the way we think. Because when we drive, I see people, especially like my wife and them, they drive crazy. Because now you gotta get in traffic and maneuver and get outside of traffic. But when we in Ventnor and Longport and Margate, we stop at that red light. First thing my wife does is like this. Oh look, baby clothes. So now you can patronize the business because you moving slow. But here is, if you got Kelsey and Kim's right on the corner, tourists is coming in, they flying right past it, never gonna patronize the business. So it's a lot of things that they do, that we do know that they do, that we not conscious of and conscious of understanding and seeing what's going on out here. It's a higher frequency, it's the way they move is quicker. Out there is slow. When you're in Longport, Ventnor, Margate, it's relaxed. You don't want to throw nothing on the ground. You look for a receptacle to throw your trash in. And I mean, it's everything. It's the way Lane City is designed. And if people in the community come together, then they say, well, look, we need some money. I'm an artist. I carve wood. Like, I would be able to survive out here if my people was conscious and knew who he was and was able to support what we do, what we don't. It's crazy.
and we're going to be calling him up soon so y'all can see what he does and we can see how we can support the brother.
All right, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? My name is Jerry. I have a lot to say, but I've learned how to humble myself and keep quiet on some things. But I'm passionate about people, but I'm especially passionate about my people. You know, about the African American community, melanated people. All right. we have to identify what the problem is, and you know, we're all over the place as far as jobs, violence, you know, just, you know, disease. We've got all kind of issues, all kind of political and social economic issues. Okay, but you know, at the root of our issue is psychology. Okay, we got to get into the mind. Okay, because like the brother said, like the sister said, L'Oreal, El Boogie, she said it starts in your within. It starts within, and with the problem, the problem that people are having is we suffer from psychosis. All right, we're out of our minds, we're out of our nature, we're out of our element. Okay, what happens when you take a tiger out of its element and you put him in a zoo? After so many years, he gets that dull look in his eyes. Mm-hmm. He's not the same. You put him back out into the wild, he might not be able to survive because he forgot, or he never knew who he was, who he really is, or who he truly is. Okay, so the people are suffering, and I'm gonna tell you, people are suffering from low self-esteem, low morale. The people are angry. We have to address what's going on within, right? And we're all over the place, you know. My thing is, whatever makes you happy, but you can't judge anybody for coming like with a different perspective. So we have Christians, we have Muslims, we have the Moorish brothers, we have the Kemetic sciences, you know, we got the Nile Valley movement, we got all kind of movements going on out here, all right? But what it comes down to is whatever makes you happy, but you have to be at peace with what you understand and not judge other people. And you have to have love in your heart. You have to have love for other people. But the only way you're going to have love for other people is you have to have love for yourself. If you're not loving yourself, of course you're going to hate it. Of course you're going to have something negative to say. When I find myself getting negative, I understand that that's mental illness, and I need to back away from that negative energy, because I got no place to judge anybody, because we all have our own stories. We have our struggles. We have our testimonies. We have, okay? What we have to do is we have to get our minds right. Whatever it takes for you to get your mind right. Then we have to understand that economics is the way out, as far as when you're making money and you're making money and you're making money and you're making money, we're all making money. I got no time to be hating on anybody because I gotta make this money. All right? When you're making money, you feel good, right? So the people ain't making no money, so now you mad, you bitter, you don't got no time to like come to like nice events like this right here because you angry at home. You stressing about, you know, where the money's gonna come from. You don't got enough money. You've been angry for so long that even when you get money, you still mad. So it's a matter of the heart. It's a matter of the mind. You know, and it starts, the mind and the heart are connected. The mind and the heart have brain tissue. Did you know that the heart actually thinks? You can actually tap into, you have a force field in your heart that emanates, depending on your aura. And people can feel when you come into the room like, okay, I'm not feeling this cat, or I'm feeling this cat. That's because you project an aura, and your mind and your brain are communicating. You know what I'm saying? So the people are suffering from a broken heart and psychosis, and the combination makes for illness and sickness in the community. So we have to like build businesses, and we have to support those businesses. And nobody's coming to save you. God sent you. You got to understand that the power is not outside of you. The power is inside of you. It's not out there. It's here. It starts here. Don't start nowhere else.
We can no longer play to the tune and the mind of holding the government accountable. Because at the end of the day, they really don't care about what's going on outside of what's in their house or in their primary positions. We see them on the news every day, whether they're negatively being watched or positively being watched. We see them on the council, whether they're doing what they're supposed to do or not doing what they're supposed to do. And I come from a very, very old school family. When I was younger, my grandmother and my grandfather worked at Lennox China. And they beat their fingers and their feet every day round the clock just to make a dollar move. We've been homeless, we've been on the street hungry, cold, tired, but yet in all the Creator still prevails. We have got to learn how to go back to where we were once survivors and not be so mentally bombarded with what we can't obtain monetarily. I remember those days, even as an adult, where I may have had to have a pot of beans a few days, a few weeks, a few months, but it lasted. Where my mother and my grandmother used to say that you teach the young women how to build their own, so that when they get older, they know how to take care of their own. And my grandmother used to drill that in my head all the time, all the time. Meaning, what I mean by that is we built our own gardens. When we had to clean something, it was some vinegar and some newspaper. When we had to go out and we had to get bread and we didn't have the finances, it was some flour and some sugar, a couple of eggs, if we could get it, and rolled it into drop biscuits. What I'm saying is not that we're not going to hold people accountable, but we have got to go back to where we were once survivors and take control of our daily and our mental, so that when this generation now, who they want to write off as nothing, when they get to be where we are, they know how to survive. We're teaching those boys every day, you have got to survive. It's no longer just about going to school. When they come home, they get a whole nother lesson. And I know they may be tired of it, but when they get older, they'll say, you know what? It was a reason why those words came across the board. It was a reason why mommy taught me how to make my own food and hand wash my own clothes. Sometimes we get caught up with, and I've been one, and I had to call myself into question. We get caught up with what the government isn't giving us. We got to put the footwork back in. We have to put the footwork back in. In order for us to come out of the state we're in, we got to support each other. And that means challenging these brothers on the street who are selling and putting forth that negativity into their own communities. Not that they're doing it anywhere else. They're doing it in our community, where we have to constantly say, no, I don't want you going near that. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it can't happen. I'm not afraid of them. Because half of them kids that I see out there now, they have come up in my school system. So when I step to them, I'm stepping to them head to head. Excuse me, sir. First of all, pull your pants up. Second of all, you are in the wrong vicinity. And they don't need that type of life, because when they leave the streets and they go into the brig, y'all know the brig, recidivism. Y'all know it. Where they promise to give them jobs when they come out for good behavior, but they don't. Where they've been saying here for the past 3 to 4 years, they're going to give them the jobs over there to work on the bridges. They haven't. And they're struggling. But that's where we got to go and challenge them. You want to stop struggling? Let me show you the right way. So that you know what to do for your babies that you're having now, and not leaving them to be inside the brig. We need more fathers and mothers on the street. And our elders are tired. They're falling off. So who's going to do it if we don't do it? So what I'm saying is, we got to go back to where we were once survivors and didn't mind what the other people were taking away from us. And I love y'all. So when y'all see me, come up to me and ask me, because I can point you to the direction. I can point you to the direction, because this brother knows a lot. I remember when he came home. His first event when he came home, And he said, I was broken. And people kind of laughed it off. Like, yeah, that's another brother that just came out on the street. He ain't doing nothing. He writes some books, hawking his industry. But you see him still standing here. And quite a few of them brothers that said so are in and out. Their mentality and their mind state is broken. So we got to challenge them and get back to survival.
Give that round of applause. And there was a statement by one of the scholars that says he was able to obtain, and he memorized lots of information, traditions, and sayings. And he was looked at, you know, highly and greatly for his advice. And he said that I learned everything that I know and obtained everything that I have through shukr and hamd. Shukr and hamd. Shukr, y'all know Tupac Shakur, that same root word meaning being thankful. Hamd, giving praise. And it all boils down to gratitude. When we get back to the point in our existence where we can be grateful for 10 of us living in a 3-bedroom house. When we can eat ramen noodles if we had to and still keep our heads up and move forward because we have a direction. If we're able to go back to where we once was, and if we sit back and it's right, the examples is in front of us, and you look at the brothers in the Latino community, they doing it. You know what it comes to? Family. Family. That's the root of it. The root of any unity starts with family. So we got to find a way to tighten and strengthen our family, and this is where our brothers that come home, because y'all sorely missed. We're not a part of the community. So we have to find a way to get here and mend these fences.
Electrician by trade, and this is just, you know, natural talent that I got. Carve wood, and I got a website. I got like one thing on it, that's the only thing.
What's your website?
jbaileyl.com.
Say it again?
jbaileyl.com.
jbaileyl.com.
Yeah, so
That's a good question. What's the meaning of their website, the name of it? What made the name?
that's just my name.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just my name. Yeah, so I carve, I paint, make everything, chessboards and all of that.
You make chessboards too?
I make all of it, instant holders. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things that, I mean, I've been everywhere and I grew up here, but it's a lot of things that I see that's wrong with Atlantic City. But it's definitely, we do live in psychosis. It's the way we think, and we definitely have to think differently. But another solution is black business has to be next door to each other. Like you got Kelsey and Kim's over here, then you got another one over here, you got something over there. That'll never work, because like if you're right next door, if you have a spa right next door to Kelsey and Kim's, that's a good Mother's Day trip. You go get your wife, get a massage, get her hair and nails done, then go right next door. But we don't do that. That's just because I don't know, a lot of us don't, we don't get along with each other. So therefore, we're not going to go into each other's neighborhoods. We're not going to patronize each other. And little kids can't even leave the west side, go back Maryland. Some can't go in the village, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. This is what I do. It's paint, carve, raise the children. That's about it.
Do you have a story, like a set location that you run your business out of?
Nah, right now I just do it. I do this at home, and you know what I mean, upload the pictures to my website, but I ain't get around to finishing anything. I'm just gonna paint that right there. A lot of this stuff is unfinished, like this is unfinished, and that's unfinished.
How long you been doing this?
I've been doing this, I've been drawing ever since I was little. I just recently started carving, but I've been painting and drawing since I was little. Yeah, it's some talent out here. I met a guy out here who's from Atlantic City that draws. There's a lot of talent out here, but we don't know about it. I mean, we don't even get along with each other. We even know that dude across the street was on the same level. So yeah, that's it.
One more quick question. What are some of the struggles that you deal with with you trying to get your business up and going?
My people. You talk to some of these people about anything that has to do with being conscious, and they like, artwork, what's artwork? Hey, what's wrong with that, brother? They might see me carving with it, I'm crazy. It's like, I'm painting, they like, what's wrong with him, man?
So it's the consciousness factor.
What you mean?
Like, far as people not knowing what you really have to offer, or
I think
how you could be a part of the community, like what you bringing your skills and your
Man, look, man, I think what it boils down to us not loving ourselves. Because again, if we did love ourselves, we would love the artwork that looks like us. And we'd be able to appreciate the stuff that looks like us and hang some of that stuff in our homes, but we don't. The way we dress, like we Europeanized, Americanized.
I want that piece right there. How much is that?
So that you want to see in the rest of the world. So you're doing you're doing your due diligence. Okay? You got a job, you're an electrician. Obviously you're part of a union.
Nah.
Okay, but you're an electrician, you know what I'm saying? So you know that you're a smart brother. Alright? You're doing your thing, taking care of your family. You're contributing to the culture. Your artwork is a testament. You know, how you hold yourself and how you represent yourself and how you speak. Speak life into what you want. Don't.
And that's true because I was always conscious of the fact that we were great people and that we had a lot of potential. But once I started speaking it, that's when I started to really see it start to manifest out on the street. Like, you got women out here overnight, they start wearing afros, so you know what I mean? It's definitely something that I didn't turn my back on who I was. I continuously teach them. So it is me actually, you know what I mean, manifesting what I believe in.
And see, people are watching you, and little kids is watching you.
Yeah, definitely.
People are watching you, even though they don't like tell you. People are watching you.
Definitely.
Mr. Dunn?
Yeah, one thing I want to say about this community, I've been living in Atlantic City for a good 10 years. You know, I'm not an Atlantic City native. One thing I have learned though, as I became part of the community, out of all the areas I've lived in, I lived in Camden, Philadelphia, you know, areas like that. This has been one of the worst areas I've ever lived in as far as community-based wise. They had more community-based stuff going on in Camden than what they actually have going on in Atlantic City. And I just want to encourage you, don't be discouraged by that, because it seems like all the brothers and sisters in this area have a tendency to hate because of their innate nature of the environment that they've been grown up in. And we have to change that perception, you know, and one way from me to you, because I'm a business-minded man, I have 2 college degrees in business, yet I haven't even started mine. And one of the things that hold me back is I want to present things in a way that's professional. You know what I mean? Instead of, you know, we're used to, I know we always have a struggle where we might set up a table outside. Yet we right in front of the man's storefront who's making all the money. You get what I'm saying? Instead of us doing our due diligence to say, all right, let me do the homework and figure out how much money is it going to cost me to get this building. You know, do the due diligence within ourselves to find out what can I do to make a legitimate straight business. Let people know, look, this is what I do, this is what what I'm gifted in, and I know it's a value in it. You know, and we have to present it in a way where it's receivable, opposed to the corporate America. When they present things, they make everything look so good, where it's so much more appealing. You know, opposed to us, where we don't do our homework and we just do a sloppy job at presenting what we really have to offer.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. I think that comes from us being in poverty for so long. I mean, because some of these properties out here is like these old homes. They're really good properties. Some of them like only 10 grand. That's 10 dudes get together, put some money together. You can buy a store. But coming from poverty, we don't think like that. We don't think like, well, let me go get a store and create a business. We think I'm gonna sell out of my car or something like that. You know what I mean?
My issues is just, if I had money, I would be good. But if you look at Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Elvis Presley, they all overdosed when they died. That means they used drugs. That means that they were not happy. When you use drugs, it's because you're not happy with your existence. There was any of y'all seen Shaka Zulu? The movie, they got two Shaka Zulus. One Shaka Zulu is the real skinny Shaka Zulu. They had real cut up like, and there was a scene where he had his whole tribe out there, and the Europeans had came down and they was trying to impress Shaka Zulu. They had all these little trinkets, these boxes, you know, glittery things, and they brought them to Shaka Zulu. And Shaka Zulu was like, look, he had his whole entourage out there. He got like 1,000 people out there dancing, flipping, doing all kinds of stuff. He's like, look, man, them trinkets don't mean nothing to me. So he sit back in the cut and he's watching them. And they're talking about like, man, I don't know how we're going to be able to get to him because he don't really seem too impressed with this. So he saw the doctor that was amongst their crew, and he had on some glasses, looked like this. And he told his man, he said, yo, go get those. So they called for the dude to come over, and he thought he wanted him. He was like, no, I don't want you, I want them glasses. So he took his glasses, and this is deep, and I want you to think about this for everybody who's on drugs. He took the glasses, and he was talking to his man after they took it from him physically, and he picked up the glasses. He was like, examining them, trying to figure out what was the purpose of them, and then he put them on. He said, whoa. He said, obviously this man does not want to see life for what it really is. I said, wow, that's like using drugs. Obviously, this man or this woman does not want to see life for what it really is. So we want to get back to where we can see we using these for purpose. Need to get my vision back. All right? So the whole purpose of that is to show that money is not the thing that predicates happiness. And when he mentioned about us having a mentality of wealth, it has nothing to do with what you have in your pocket. We have to start thinking like wealthy people. We have to start thinking economically. We have to start training each other and building 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, 25-year plan. They have one company in Japan that sells nothing but panties. And they have a 25-year plan for drawers. And they have masterfully pulled it off. We buy all of them from there. But they have a 25-year plan. We got to get back to where we got a, we don't even have a year plan. What we going to do next year? What we going to do in 6 months? What we going to do if we don't get this job? We're not even thinking beyond that. What can I do to sacrifice my time right now? Because if I'm going to spend it right now, it has to be something that has to produce something from it. What am I doing now? How am I investing my energies? Am I playing Candy Crush all day? Am I playing Call of Duty, Black Ops? Am I wasting my time? Because time is a terrible thing to waste. So, my brother Antonio.
There's a book by a young man. His name is George Jackson. The name of the book is Blood in My Eye. And if you are a young black man living in America, whether you come from DR, Barbados, if you are living in this industrial military complex, it behooves you to understand of all of the different slaveries that has ever taken place in the human condition. This brother said the word psychosis. Very, very serious word. What was done to the African in North America was done not to remain physically in shape. It was to pollute the spirit of these people forever and ever and ever. Self-perpetuating is what it's called. And if you're from Atlantic City, you need to appreciate that what was done to the black population of Atlantic City was such a heinous crime. To be growing up in the shadow of billions of dollars, to be separated from it by one street, to be told you have nothing to do with this prosperity, that the only purpose you serve is to serve the need of what it is facing.
does something to the spirit, to the psyche of the people, it will blow your mind apart. And if people cannot begin to appreciate what has been done to them, they will never begin to appreciate what they themselves must do to remedy what has been done to them. It is not some passage in a book. It is not something to be talked about in this room. It is something to be grasped intimately, to be understood what has been done to you. And then for you yourself to become responsible for what you need to do for yourself. But as long as the victimization is still the dynamic in which we think, as long as we continue to try to figure out, it's obvious what was done. We were dehumanized, made into animalistic people. If people can even be applied. Because when there is no morality between a man and his woman, her tears don't stop him, the baby's hunger does not demand, then know that that man is no longer a man. There's no humanity in that man. So to begin to appreciate this financial, we just saw, the whole world just saw. $1.5 billion of Powerball. Y'all need to know 2 of them people are dead. 2 of them are dead. One OD'd 3 days ago and the other one got murdered by his friends and took the money. Money is not going to cure what was done to us. And you can only sustain a healthy financial paradigm when you have a spirit that sustains your daily living. Please begin to appreciate what was done in this city. One of the greatest crimes, just like the African slave trade in North America. The greatest crime, not the Holocaust, what was done here. And then we throw away all of the people that try to bring it to us. John Henry Clark, these people are dying. Cresswell, all these people are dying little by little. We don't even have these people that can articulate to us what was done to us. We must become these people. But we'll never do it if we think that money's going to do a damn thing about what's wrong with us. We consume 80% of all the produced materials on earth. Black folks in America consume. China makes it so we can buy it. Because they know we're going to. Because when you take the people's esteem, they'll buy anything. We are the consumers of the world. We keep everybody rich, us. So money is not our problem. It is not our problem.
And Linwood, I work for the Women's Center. And I do a lot of work in the community. I'm a psychotherapist, as well as doing a lot of race work within the Women's Center to change who they are, to be able to serve our community. I am born and raised in Camden, New Jersey, so I'm not from Atlantic City, but like I said, I work in this county, so I do as much work as I can to break that stereotype of who we are as the Women's Center to provide an amazing service to the community. So it's a little about who I am.
Okay. You want to tell us who
I'm
you are?
certainly her mother.
You're who?
I'm her mother.
Stop playing.
Stop. I love
Black,
you.
black don't crack.
My name is Luis Rodriguez. I am president for La Casa Dominicana de New Jersey. It's a non-profit organization here in Atlantic City. It's a great, great event. Thank you for inviting me. I need the community, I need unity. I need respect the life, respect the father, the neighbor. I need education for stop the violence from Atlantic City. Thank you. Unity is the most very important for its community. Education. Thank you very much.
All right.
One thing I want to stress is not only our children, but our people, we need education. Because there's so much that we don't know that could benefit us as a people, but we just don't know it. I mean, we're responsible for some old chests of slaves in Canada. Escaped slaves, they invented hockey. See what I'm saying? Yeah, they invented hockey. I got a rush right now. I mean, there's so much I want to tell y'all, but maybe at the next event, I could get to speak. I could bring some of my literature and education. You know what I mean? It wakes you up. It's maybe a changed person, just knowing the history of my people. You know, knowing that we did the hieroglyphics, science, mathematics, geometry, all that comes from African people. Another thing I want to stress, we was talking about young men getting in trouble earlier. It looks good, you know, the brothers wearing jewelry and clothes and cars and everything. I've been here. But you gotta recognize that one day you're gonna get old. You're gonna go through pains, separations in your marriage, things like that. You're gonna need a job. You're gonna have to slow down.
Probably like 2 years ago. They were still there, the self-esteem issues, the lack of real full confidence, but you would never know because of the facade that I put on. So anyway, growing spiritually and mentally and everything like that, I went off to college. I'm the first in my family to actually attend and graduate college in fact. So thank you. I'm a Morgan State alumni, so cheers.
Morgan State?
Yeah. I'm sorry, don't come for it. Don't come for it.
Workers all day.
So, yeah, so going off to college is where I really found myself. You know, I said, okay, you know, and it wasn't more of the fact that nobody knew me, because I'm so transparent that anybody that I met, I start talking to you. I kind of tell you my story. I kind of start testifying and all of that good stuff without a problem, because I have nothing to hide. And because I wanted to grow from what it was that I had been through. Iron sharpens iron. But what I had to learn is I couldn't talk to everybody. So I learned that pretty quick. So anyway, graduated from Morgan. I decided that I want to chase my dreams. So I decided to start chasing my dreams. And I became a professional plus size model. You see me on Ashley Stewart, Lane Bryant, Fashion to Figure, all the curvy girl stores. So, and that took a toll because I couldn't even enjoy that. I couldn't enjoy it because I had life going on around me. And it kind of interfered with what I had worked so hard to do. So what I had to learn was I had to take a step back, you know, deal with life over here, but keep business over here. So like I said, I just turned 30 and it took me a long time to learn it because again, I didn't have parents teaching me this because my parents didn't know a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? It just is what it is. So the cycle that we have from where we're from is it's a hard cycle. And I think stuff like this is the reason why we need to have things like this to break that cycle and to try and get our community to be built in a more stronger way. So anyway, now I have my own foundation called Aged. And I launched it because I see my community, you know. People always say, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Atlantic City. People live there? Yeah, people live there. People die there. People go to the bathroom there. They graduate, you know, all of that good stuff. So yeah, people live there. And I realized that, you know, my city has a lot of potential, but it needs people within it to kind of shift it. Because I grew up being able to play, you know, kickball from the speed bumps and double dutch and have water fights and all of that good stuff. That's how I grew up. They don't know about double dutch. They don't know about, you know, skip hop and all of that type of stuff. They don't know about drill teams. I was in Charles Drew's drill team. You know, Sister Soldiers Hip. So, you know what I mean? So they don't know about that. And it's unfortunate because it was a great time. You know, so now as I got older and as I went away and I came back, it was depressing. So I said, what can I do, you know, to try and start giving back to my community? So I created Aged. Aged is called Always Give Eagerly Despite. And it's ... Because despite means despite what you're going through, despite what you're going through, despite what anybody says, despite what anybody thinks. Always give eagerly despite, because that's what's going to keep our community going forth. That's what's going to keep our community growing and building and coming together. So I said that I would come here today and speak on behalf of Aged, my foundation that I launched actually the end of last year, because I said, okay, I'm going into a new year, not only a new year, but a new decade. I just turned 30, and it's amazing to me, you know, because I'm just like, you know, I know I still look 25, you know, but I am 30 years old, and that's my reality, you know. So the reality is, what can I do going forth to finally do what I wanted to do all this time in my community, which is give back, you know. So when Marte reached out to me, I said, oh, sure, I'll come, you know, and I'll speak. So the purpose of me speaking is more so not to tell you about what I'm doing, but to tell you about what I would like to do and how I would like to impact the community and trying to uplift some of the people here and inspire people, because a lot of us aren't inspired every day. A lot of us aren't motivated every day. A lot of us don't get pep talks. A lot of us don't have somebody pushing us. A lot of us don't have anybody supporting us. I did all that I did with one kid on my hip. My son was literally in college with me. I had him my last year of college, my oldest son. I have a 7-year-old, and I was on a newborn. But he was in college with me, and I was rocking with one foot and writing with the other foot. You know, my professors allowed me to have him because I was this close to being done, and I wasn't stopping because I had came so far on my own. But the struggle there was the fact that I was on my own. Our community and our youth and our young people growing up, they need all of us. You know what I mean? They need people constantly feeding into their lives. You know, speaking life into them, not death. Speaking greatness into them, not doubt. You know, so people are going to always tell us that we can't do, or that's going to be too hard, or that's impossible, or this, that. I have a newborn, like I said, and he's here right now, but so am I. So that means I can't stop just because I had a baby. A new little monkey don't stop the show. You know, so you have to keep going, and that's the problem that we have. People fall off, and I always say, what happened to that village? What happened to the village that it takes to raise, you know, a child? What happened to that village that it takes to build a community? It's not there. So that's what age is about. Age is more so just trying to bring back that gap of building, team building, youth building, community building, self-worth, and all of that good stuff. So I say all of that to say that I hope going forth, you know, events like this gets more promotion, events like this gets more outcome, because, excuse me, it's needed. Our youth are dying, you know, they're dropping bodies like nobody's business. They're finding bodies, which is ironic that you're finding, you know, somebody or something, but that's the purpose of this event, right? So the unfortunate part about it is we're taking ourselves out. They don't have to do anything, but nobody sees that aspect, you know. The unfortunate part about it is everybody is, you know, talking behind the scenes instead of being in front of the scenes and making a difference in it. So where I have 2 sons, I'm going to raise them to be kings. That's my goal.
That's right.
I'm going to raise them in the way that I wasn't, you know, raised. I want for them to have a sense of love that I didn't have, so that, well, I had it, but it's difficult to try and like really explain it. I know my parents loved me, but what I'm saying is what I needed at that time wasn't there. So I struggled. My kids won't struggle with that because that will help to avoid different things. We need to start loving on our kids, and we need to start, you know, it's okay to hug, as a male, it's okay to hug your son and tell him it's okay that you love them. It's okay to kiss your son on the forehead and say, I love you, have a good day, you know, and pep talk them. It's not, it's such a masculinity thing that, you know, kind of hinders our community as well, that I think we need to break from. But again, like I said, I just wanted to kind of like share, because see, I'm a suicide survivor as well. And I didn't want to live because I felt like I wasn't enough. You know, I felt like I wasn't worthy of some things, and that's a lie. You know, and God not only said that I'm going to spare your life, but I'm going to give you life. And I have my newborn. So my newborn is like my lifeline. That's how I look at it. So for me, it's like I have to keep building on my legacy now. I have to start building for them to have something to look forward to, because I didn't have anything to look forward to. All of this is new. I'm building and creating on my own. Excuse me. So, you know, with all of that said, I hope that, yeah, he wants his mommy. I hope that going forward, we can be more of advocates to one another and supporters to one another. I hope that we can continue to lift up our kids together. I've worked in the school system for a few years doing substitute teaching, and kids kind of flock to me. And I don't know if it was because of me being relatable to them. I'm sorry, my distraction. He's not a distraction, but
That's your child.
yeah. You know, you want to see a lioness roar, play with a cub. That's how I feel about mine. Everybody don't feel that way about theirs. You get what I'm saying? But that's a problem. You know, we need to be more into our inside versus our outside. The problem is everybody's trying to put on the outside thing instead of working on the inside. It hinders, it really hinders us as a whole. So where I'm not buying Jordans all the time because I'd rather be in my prayer closet, you know, and working on my finances, like I said, to build that legacy
and to have that age through it. It's a foundation. Our first stop is the mission. I'm having AC Loves You Day, and it's pretty much me going over to the homeless shelter, because just 2 years ago, I was semi-homeless. I was sleeping on sofas, I slept in my couch, I mean on my car. You wouldn't believe it, but it's true. I had my back on my car packed up. I had my oldest son with his father because I had things to do, like I had a dream to chase, and I didn't have the support. So that's what I'm saying, where that lack of support can really take a toll on people, but it's doable. I did not want to do it because I didn't have anywhere to technically live. I did not want to do it because I didn't have all the funding. You would never know. People just saw the outcome of my pictures, but they had no idea of what was inside of me while I was behind that camera. And I almost lost opportunities because I would take all of that on set with me, and you could see it in my eyes that I didn't want to be here. I wanted to be here, but I couldn't enjoy being here. So, going forth, I feel like being able to just, I'm gonna go, because when he calls, I run, I'm sorry. Going forward, I just hope that we can come together collectively to be able to start building one another, to, prevent suicide. I think it was a young man who jumped out of Lighthouse Plaza or something like that. That type of stuff shouldn't be happening. Our kids need to be fed, and I don't mean just fed by food, I mean fed to the soul. And if it's not being fed to the soul, something else is gonna feed it, which kills it. So we need to be more of advocates. We need to be more of lovers. It's okay. It's okay to love. It's okay to support. It's okay. Such a crab in a barrel. Such a crab in a barrel place that we come from. But people that are here right now clearly want something different. And I feel like, going forth, if we could just step up and speak up more and be a part of different things more, things could really shift. Atlantic City has a lot of potential, but it's up to us. So thank you. I won't hold you.
It's always been the females, always. So we want to acknowledge them, and us men, we have to step up. We have to be. There was a picture that my wife had on there that was her and her superwoman outfit. That women are superwomen. She said, but it's good when they don't always have to use their superpowers. It's our job to step up to make sure they don't have to. When they need to, they will. When we need them, because we will, they will. But we shouldn't be dependent upon them to do so. We're burning out their powers.
Why Superman catch Superwoman in the cut?
In the cut. I heard that. All right. Next, I would like to invite the gifted Jerry LeMay.
Husband, brother, nephew. There's a lot of things that are being said today. It's very positive. Like I said earlier, we have to identify the root causes of our issues as a people. And we're suffering from psychosis, okay? A lot of us are out of our minds. I'm out of my mind sometimes. My wife wants me to talk to somebody. But what I'm saying is, we all have our different perspectives, but we're not in our natural state. If you understand what I'm saying, we're not in our natural state as African people, as Aboriginal people. We don't know. We're not understanding what our ancestors understood. We have to learn that stuff over again. We have to go back, we have to learn that stuff, and then we have to apply it to our everyday lives. We have to learn about, healthy eating. We have to learn about how powerful vegetables and fruits. We have to learn about alkaline waters and it's not working. All right. So the mic's not working. I like the mic. I'm a singer, so. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna sing this. I'm gonna sing this song, but I'm gonna just try to project my voice. I'm gonna try to project my voice so that you guys can hear the song. But I wrote this song to express how I feel about what I see was going on in the world with our Trayvon Martins and our Emmett Tills and our Eric Garners of the world. I see the people struggling. I'm part of the people. I struggle. I struggle like the sister said. I struggle with depression, like a lot of people do. I struggle with self-esteem. You know, we all do. We have to start being honest. Okay, we all have like this, not all of us, I can't speak for everybody, but the majority of us, let's be honest, we have a facade that we put on. We have this idea in our head of who we want everybody to think that we are. We're afraid. We live in fear. Let's be honest. We are not even just us, I mean I'm talking about people are just afraid. White people, black people, everybody's afraid. Okay, but now you're dealing with the people that are damaged. We're damaged humanity from, 400 or 500 years of slavery and 100 years of Jim Crow, and you see what's going on now. A lot of the racism and a lot of different things are starting to resurface or actually make themselves seen because we have new technologies. We've got cell phones and cameras, and this stuff has always been there. We've known it. But now the rest of the world is able to see it because now we can shoot it to YouTube real quick for you. So you could actually see us being murdered with our backs turned. You could actually see, the kids beating each other up and stuff. That was going on when I was a kid. There was no such thing as no bullying. When I was a kid, I was getting my shoes thrown out the bus windows and stuff. Real tough. I was getting beat down, I ain't had nobody to back me up. I wasn't part of a gang or anything like that. I had to knuckle up. But that was going on, that's been going on. Let's be honest. We have to be honest. And we have to start loving. So we have to start being honest with ourselves, and we have to start loving unconditionally. In spite of what those people say, we fight the love we can't explain. We were born to love, and we started with a heart that was torn. Can I share with you the way that I'm feeling? Stand up for life, stand up for love, stand up for freedom. The world can be yours. Stand up for life, stand up for freedom. Humanity needs us, God that lives in us. Stand up for life, stand up for love, stand up for freedom. The world can be yours. Stand up for life, stand up for freedom. Humanity needs us, God that this soul in me can feel this pain in me. As the mother cries, her child was born to die, but we got to fight. There's nothing we got in life. It's time to be reborn, so we can cover the storm. Put your hands into the air, you're with me. Stand up for life, stand up for love, stand up for freedom. The world can be yours. Stand up for life, stand up for freedom. Humanity needs us, God that lives in us. Stand up for life, stand up for love, stand up for freedom. The world can be yours. Stand up for life, stand up for freedom. Humanity needs us. I live in this country. Black is a victim for the poor. Thank you for not making for my accountable soul. And the third touch of circumstance, now wisdom, quite around. But the rest is a chance, my head is bloody, but I'm bound. Beyond the face, like a tear, blue from the heart, the shade that. The minute 7 years, fine, chef, fine, unafraid. The man now, I'll straight the gate. My charge of punching in the skull. I'm passing my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. Victim. Stand up for it. Stand up for it. Stand up for freedom. The world can be yours. Stand up for it. Stand up for freedom. The man that he needs us. The God that lives in us. And I got all of these ideas for this song right here. And when I record it, I tell you this is going to be a hit. I know it's going to be a hit. And here you hear like the chorus. Hey, it's going to be dope. It's dope, right? Alright, this song is dedicated to Eric Arms in the world. To Brother Trayvon Martin. Alright? Anybody else that's lost a loved one. If anybody wants to start calling out names in memory, if there's somebody you want to shout out, please shout it out. Shout them out.
Red Rum, Drake, Kansas City.
Shout it out.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Shout it out. Somebody missing somebody. Open up.
All right.
I gotta open up. Thank you, Marte, for this event, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for attending.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna grab the mic. You know I don't know what to do with the mic.
Yeah.
Y'all give him a round of applause for Gifted. Jerry LeMay. With his original song. And it has a message behind it. Next, I would like to call up a long-standing Stop the Violence, Break the Silence participant who has ripped a many a mic. Poet, Lost Child.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember CMD.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
I'm sipping water and walking around, and I just didn't think to do this before I got up here, so I'm just gonna talk until I find it.
Okay, while you're looking for it, I'm gonna give a shout out to Ray Tyler.
Yes, sir.
Who, to be honest with you, perfectly honest with you, is the main reason why I started doing these. As I had mentioned earlier, when I came home, I needed an outlet in order for me to get this out of me, and he provided that for me. And I seen that, and I'm like, yo, we got to continue this. So, you know, I want to give him a lot of props and thank yous, because we got to continue this tradition. Keep doing what you're doing.
That's what's up. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I know both of y'all brothers, and I run with y'all, and with that, see the links.
I came home hungry. He was like, you know what? He said, you know what? Come here. Here. I'm like, hold up. Okay. That's just you now.
Yeah, we all gotta eat.
All right, that's what's up. I generally don't read my stuff. If it's not memorized, I don't perform it. But I've had this in my phone for a minute, so I'm just gonna share it here with y'all, and I'm gonna read it. And it's not my normal cadence and flow, but hopefully, I mean, it's of the approval of some of the vets that's in the room right now. But it's entitled "Moment of Silence." Can I please ask if we could just take a moment of silence in memorial of every person unjustly murdered by those supposedly sworn to serve and protect, but instead our folks were choked out by the neck, filled with lead, and left in the streets for dead, bled to death from blows to the head, and slain simply for looking and being similar to the Homo sapien standing before you, whose sounds are currently permeating your auditory membrane. My aim is to maintain that any one of us can be the next internet sensationalized name of an unjust murder by Klansmen sworn to serve their hidden agendas, no longer hidden behind white sheets but clad in blue slacks and button-ups with badges and heat used solely for perpetuating the beast. Please, can I ask for a moment of silence for every brother and sister right now within the sound of my voice who may not survive the drive home tonight from an improper turn or a burnt out tail light. Overstand that if I die in police custody, that I did not take my own life. And when my killers are exonerated, will you then realize that it's now time to ride? How many more gotta fall victim before injustice is brought to the light? And how long can this country continue on this path of degradation while we all just stand by and watch? maybe record with our camera phones, like a post on Instagram, then return to the false sanctity of our own individual homes. The demoralized, delusional democratic society that we're all supposed citizens of is being decimated right before our eyes. The reality that it never really was for some is just now being realized, and each and every soul has the capacity to be either part of the problem or part of the solution. There is no middle ground, regardless of what excuses you may be using. The time for change is long past and overdue, and I'd rather die as part of the solution than sit back and watch the system murder you. There are no longer any divisions, no religion, no class, no stature, not even sex. The war on black is in full effect, and my only question is, who's next for us to request a moment of silence? Wow. Now, that, I think, if you can hear it, like, I purposely try not to ride the wave, like when no respect to everyone's artistry, but when the Trayvon Martin thing happened, I was going to events and everybody had a poem for Trayvon Martin. When Eric Gardner happened, I went to events and everybody was talking about Eric Gardner. When Mike Brown happened, I went to events and all the posts was spitting about Mike Brown. Like, I've been talking about this for the last 20 some odd years now. When I was, I think from like 14 years old up until now, I've realized that when I walk down the street, that I'm not treated the same way. I realized as a kid, 14 years old, walking from the school to the bus stop, the cop pulls up next to me, where you boys coming from? Yeah. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, I got a book bag on, I'm walking, I'm not being rowdy, the school is there, the bus stop is there, where you think I'm coming from? But, I mean, and I've lived in Alabama, which is a whole other country compared to where we are here. I mean, they're 30 years behind. And it's not just the white people, even the brothers down there, like they were, when I was down there in 95, 96, they believed that they weren't supposed to eat at certain restaurants. In 95, they still felt that way. So, I mean, when I was down there, like, there's a class action suit or whatever in the city that I was living in for 5 years that they've proven that the police officers were planting drugs on young black men, pulling them over, planting drugs, and some of these dudes are still in jail to this day. And they've gone back and realized, and the joke between my family was that, yo, don't nobody ride with Wayne because he get pulled over every week just on sight. And that's what it was when I was down there. Like, they pulled me over just when they saw me. I didn't have a Benz with rims and nothing was flashy about me and my car, just a young black man, and I still had my jersey tag. So they just knew I was running something up and down the interstate or whatever. But it's just like, I've been living this for years, so I try not to just jump on the bandwagon when everybody's talking about like whoever's on Instagram now is the next hashtag or whatever. So I wrote that piece to just kind of put it all together. I didn't mention any of the names because it's not about who it is now. It's been about us as a people since our grandparents' generation. So, I mean, we need to recognize, we need to do something different, man. And I don't know what, that's why I come to events with Marte, my brother Marte, because I know it's something that needs to happen in the streets, and we need to worry about doing it before we go to somebody else and ask them to help us. Like, we gotta help ourselves before anybody else can help us. But I'm gonna do the last little half piece. I'm gonna cut it in half because I already talked for a little bit. But
you ain't gotta cut it in half. Give it to him.
It's
and somebody on our live audience told you to give you big ups and Black Poets Matter.
Okay, that's what I didn't even know this was. What?
That's live.
Technology. That's what's happening, baby. But see, presently there seems to be this consistent cycle being repeated of in memory of teas, tattoos, teddy bears, and RIPs commemorating the countless casualties in our communities caused by our own kids killing their own kind. Character flaws created to be self-regenerated by design. Those chains and shackles are still present though, wrapped around our minds, and these house Negroes are still pushing whips now instead of getting them cracked across our behinds. I feel as if I'm inclined to point out the proclivity of my people, particularly in respect to the lack of value put on our lives and those around us. Clowns running around, clowns falling victims of their own disgust, yelling, "Turn down for what? Turn down for what?" Now, has anyone ever realized that in that statement, that question, that chorus, that he's asking a question? Turn down for what? And I've never heard anyone answer the question. You know what I mean? But see, because no one else did, I figured I need to. See, maybe we need to turn down just a tweed bit because our kids are getting caught up and the grandkids are killing their cousins, directly reflecting the way that they're being brought up. And it's sort of disgusting to see these younger parents raising their kids in the exact specifics known to lead them into being future statistics, totally ignorant to the tricks flipped on generations past, pointedly pointing out the purpose for knowing our own story as well as his. Let's get back to raising our kids in recognition of the fact that eventually they're going to be active adults in tomorrow's society. It just depends on our direction whether they're going to be learners and earners or facetious facetious leeches left behind to be the next generation's teachers, leading us into further despair. I put care into this thesis, understanding that these rhyme schemes have the potential to push progeny past the half-caste shadow of the average ghetto bastard. We stand last now, but we all know the verse. Blessings from realms unknown overshadowing this earthly curse, worth more than any amount of money, because if you take it all from me, I'll still be me.
That's right.
We would still be we. Voices of hope and peace transformed out of all of this earthly tragedy. And in response to this drastic alert, I make this masterpiece work overtime, striving for perfection, aiming to redirect these hot heads into a cooler direction. Because now we got insecurities and misdirection through madness, flexing their muscle or lack thereof. Because cowards, see, it's these cowards that are clearly characterized by their need to keep ratchets and hammers close by, unable to stand toe-to-toe and rock. They're constantly reaching for Glocks and cockback hammers, leaving bodies lifeless over minimal circumstances. It's these boys never growing into full-grown men, physically presenting themselves as grown but mentally making decisions as immature children, literally looking to make a killing in these streets, making fast money, making shorter lives, leaving behind fatherless kids and less mothers becoming wives. Now stemming a common contradiction, a laid back and easy constriction with decisive diction, spitting actual factual babble, speaking directly from the perspective of street. Because we need to take it back to the black fist in the air with the conscious decision made to do better for our own welfare, refocusing our mental energies from obtaining materialistic wealth by any means necessary to improving our own mental health and well-being through knowledge of self by any means necessary. Regardless of whether you're chanting Allahu Akbar Muhammad or screaming in the name of Jesus, we need these founding principles to see these changes that we're desperately needing. I'm pleading for reasons of drastic proportions, forcing the hand of gunmen, stick-up, jackers, clappers, and once again the cowards to put down your arms and pick up your arms, because harm is coming into the community from its own constituents. Belligerently bullying bystanders of the BS in their own backyards, the odds are already stacked against us without us adding to the ruckus, because we're all in this together. From 18th to Avon, Mount Vernon to Mount Prospect, or maybe I should say from Philly to Camden, AC back up to Brick City. Let's take our streets back and get it collectively together as one people, one blood, one love. Thank you.
We're gonna definitely get an encore on that. Like I said, that's one of our mic rippers historically. Next we're going to call up Wolfgang Jock. He is a phenomenal local talent. He is a rapper. He has a movement called Humble Vision. And I love the whole concept. I love his whole story. And I'm going to do as much as I can to help support this young brother, because that's our job, but because I really believe in him. And I hope that y'all get a chance to see what I see.
I'm a musician, artist, rapper. I like artists. I go by the name of Wolfgang Jock. I'll give y'all a little back story of me. I'm from northern New Jersey, East Orange. I was born in Newark, raised in East Orange. I moved down here maybe 2000 and I graduated from high school in 2009, so I moved down here 2010-ish. And I moved down here 2010-ish. So I moved down here 2010. When I moved down here, even though my mom and my dad was living up North Jersey and they had places or whatnot, but I wanted to be fast. I wanted to do it on my own or whatever. So when I moved down here, I didn't have nowhere to sleep, lay my head or whatnot. And the reason I moved down here is because when I was doing the music up there, I just felt like it wasn't going nowhere. And then I moved down here thinking like, well, maybe Atlantic City is type different. Maybe it's like a little New York or whatever, so I moved down here or whatever. But anyway, long story short, I started sleeping in my car. When I started sleeping in my car, my best friend, he told me about the Covenant House. I went over to the Covenant House, this was 2010. I went over to the Covenant House and I stayed at the Covenant House for a little bit, for like a couple months, and I got my own place. Got my own place. Around this time, I had a girlfriend. She's my wife now. We got a son. And ever since then, like God just been blessing me Mine's I'm only 25, so I got some time to go. Yeah, so and I mean the music always been my passion. Music always been my passion. My music speaks differently. It's not that type of music that you would normally hear, but you can play it with the rest of the music or whatnot. I like to say I got conscious music. I got music when you want to feel good, it's more upbeat or whatever, but everything I lay down always have a message.
Gotta go with that paper bit. My mama's stuck in debt, the rent got the latest fee. I'm living check to check, losing my patience bid. Want me to sell my soul for rap, but they ain't taking me. Gotta go. Gotta go. When the pig's right for you to shine, you sign your name, let God alone.
I want y'all to listen to me.
Gotta go.
Whoa! Gotta get it. Gotta shine, everywhere that ain't with it. When you blessed with the stage, you step in the booth. Hit with the pressure, about laying the truth. Watching these labels go do what they do when they signing these artists not better than you. How you supposed to win? When these labels deaf, dumb, and blind, letting poses in. Then your players distance slow to bring your coaches in. Now I feel more of a challenge. I'm more close to it, don't backtrack. Check my ass cap, cause you ain't cats. All be in mind, I need Gucci shades just to block the hate, but you can borrow them so you can see the shot. They showing up, so all my shows can see me fail or see me shot. I promised life be the whole world when I was sleeping in the back of that Nissan. Check, do this for Little Quay. And the one that I just lost when it was on the way. I told my mama time is now and I am on my way. And I don't sound like any artist, what they gonna say? Fire, flame up. Should I say it again? Fire, flame up. I better not say it again in your top 5, you better mention them. That's your top 5 and don't mention them. Y'all tweet us off, y'all cotton balls and deleting them.
Gotta go, with that paper bit. My mama's stuck in debt, the rent got the latest fits. I'm living check to check, losing my patience bid.
Want me to sell my soul for rap, but they ain't taking me. Gotta go.
When the pig's right for you to shine, you sign your name when I got it now. Hey, gotta go.
Haven't spoke to my brothers in a long time, cause I've been on a long grind. Gucci in 10th grade, and Jay on a long ride in between schools. I never told Jay I was proud of him. He the first in the family to stay in college. Ever since he was young, I never doubted him. Now I need to pay his tuition, cause my intuition is telling me Paul's a musician and pay him a visit. I hope that he listen, cause we used to starve in that kitchen. My mama did all for a difference. So I'ma make all of it different. They new life now, you gon' have it. Rap and turn to an end. Why they acting too dramatic? With these bars, I'm automatic. First round drafting, better drafting. Built with hunger, all this passion. Right? I said I'm built with hunger, all this passion.
If I got it, you know you got it. If I got it, you know you got it. I came to win, that's right, I came to win. Gotta go, with that paper bit. My mama's stuck in debt, the rent got the latest fees. I'm living check to check, losing my patience big. Want me to sell my soul for rap, but they ain't taking me. Gotta go.
That was Gotta Go right there. I actually got an album out right now, which I have copies on me now. If anybody want one, just let me know. That was the last song I recorded on the album, and it was the song that made me most emotional in the booth. Like, it's just put in just this thing that I'm like on the playback, listening to it, I'm just like I felt it. So I just want, when people listen to the album and y'all got in the cars and you got in your headphones or the cases, I want them to really feel it, like really understand, like, and really, listen to my message.
And we must take note of this. A young 25-year-old husband, father, who is an artist, and his message is clean. See, this is how we begin what's called consumer sovereignty. If we want to start changing some of the stuff that's happening in the community, then we have to start learning how to spend our money in areas that's going to be beneficial. If we don't want to hear ratchet lyrics over the airwaves, then stop paying for it. When it comes on the air, cut it off. Because they can monitor, they see who's listening. So if people are listening, then they're going to give you what you're listening to. It's a business. They get paid for it. So then stop listening to it. That's consumer sovereignty. Let's do it. The little stuff that we can begin right now. We start with what? It was the first solution that we talked about. Gratitude. Gratitude. Let's be grateful for the little stuff that we got. So we can find a way to do what? On the next on the list is to love each other. Because we have to learn how to love each other for us to grow together and do something. Instead of sitting around complaining about everything in the house. Your shoes up. Sipping on some orange juice, talking about, man, they taking over the city. You gave it to them. They're like, man, stick yourself in. I'm not sticking myself. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to come out. I'm not sticking myself no more. You're not put me in no trunk with no rats in it. I'm not doing that.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I'm praying that you put me in that time for it. Oh Lord, I got a ton of things to be. That new whip when I pull up, red carpet when I pull up, lights, camera, action, and that's every time that I pull up. Fans wait when I pull up, haters hate when I pull up, flexing on these lanes like I did a bunch of them pull-ups. I pull up. Okay, I pull up. Okay, I pull up. Okay. About the way, now let that wolf pass. Cause I've been dope with this music since book bags. 8th period lunch, math class 2. And now I'm chopping on that throwing cash. Living my rants and all that I'm spitting. I got me a vision, now hold up. Have me a couple of teams, they all watch when I roll up. Hating this week, man, you haters this week. Now watch me pause my close up. Wolf gang jock up at the top. Hold up, showing up. Red carpet flow. Dope to my shoestrings, my inauguration big. Every time that I do things, black SUV. Tints on that mug, feeling like Obama every time I hit the clubs too. With my only team, and all my hitters they ride to. My right hand to rock you, and my right hand like 5'2". Hold up, maybe 5'3". Another acting guy like why me? That's what this music I know how to use it. This hip hop in my IV, cameras everywhere. Surrounded by money and great minds. I'm super uber patient. I know that the fame it take time. Italian belt. Haul up on my waistline, now give me the rock is my year. I'm top playing that baseline, let's win. Oh Lord, I'm praying that you put me in this time for. Oh Lord, I got a ton of things to be. That new whip when I pull up, red carpet when I pull up, lights, camera, action, that's every time that I pull up. The fans wave when I pull up, haters hate when I pull up, flexing on these lanes like I did a bunch of them pull-ups. I pull up. Okay. Pull up. Okay. Pull up. Check. Okay. The fans wave when them haters hate, that's every time that I pull up. I heard that they talk about letting me in. Don't need no approval, they're blessing me in. Been writing so much, I'm not resting this pen. Artists without, artists within. Writing this music, I need me to win. Writing this music, I need me to win. Writing this music, I need me to win. With a bunch of more fans and 2-seater Benz. They all want me dead, they want me to see. Writing examples, I want you to see. While my squad, we 60 is deep. Approaching the scene, we packed in the Jeep. With my right, my sweat gon' free. Blue flames, balls hit. All of this beat and I'm kicking this heat. Luke Kane, long kicks, dripping ambition. I sit in position, I read the right rhymes. To sit in the system, I'll fill out these papers for 401k. Chasing my dream, not chasing the picture. Twist up their face when they see me do good. Look at they stuff, they head in the limit, they mad as they're not stuck in the hood. When I rock through, they can't see cause it's tinted. Then they spread rumors and say that it's winning. Then I start buzzing, they say that I'm winning. They say you did you and I say I'm not finished. Say more to coming, it's only beginning. Yeah, quite, I knew you would get it, but you was the one who said it was winning. And now that I'm shining, my CDs are spinning. You all on my top, you know that I'm winning this war. Lord, I'm praying that you put me in that time for. Oh Lord, I got a ton of things to be thankful for. That new whip when I pull up, red carpet when I pull up, lights, camera, action, and that's every time that I pull up. Fans wait when I pull up, haters hate when I pull up, flexing on these lanes like I did a bunch of them pull-ups. I pull up. Okay, I pull up. Okay, I pull up. Okay, them fans waving, them haters hating, that's every time that I pull up. Let's win.
I go by the name of Wolfgang Jock, everybody.
Let's win.
Thank you for your time. Thank all of y'all for coming through, and sharing and participating. And now we are working on when we can start scheduling our next event, and hopefully we can work out an arrangement to do another event here, and we pull from there. And then we start working on some bona fide solutions. If any of y'all are interested, we need y'all participation. So we want to find out exactly what you want to do. We want to thank DOUR and his video productions. We want to give a shout out to all local business persons. So if you need your show, video, photographer, a cameraman, y'all make sure y'all look for my man. How can we get a hold of you, DOUR?
YouTube, DHP Movement, all caps.
DHP Movement, all caps. DHP Movement, all caps. And he got the state-of-the-art camera. So y'all make sure y'all come check the brother out. If y'all looking for any of the books, Marte King, you go to Repent Inc., www.repentinc.com. Come check out what we're doing. Come check out some of our books. We need your support. We here to make a difference in the community. You can't take over nothing unless I give it to you. So it's our turn to stand up and take back what's ours.
Pull up.
Pull up. We're going to do a bunch of them pull ups. Oh no.